All right, my secondary math 2 class, we are going to be continuing to talk about transversals and the angle relationships that they create. Okay, so for 1 through 4, actually, making an executive decision. Turn your paper over if you are taking notes. Okay, and let's go ahead and identify all of our different relationships. So let's start with alternate interior. Okay, I'm going to draw my 2 parallel lines, my transversal. Okay, well, alternate means different. Okay, so they're going to be on different sides of my transversal. Okay, so that means one is going to be on the left and one is on the right. Okay, interior means that they are going to be on the inside of my parallel lines. Okay, so alternate interior, one is right here on the different side and one is right there. Okay, and then let's go ahead and write that these angles equal each other. Okay, alternate exterior is basically the same thing, except instead of inside of our parallel lines, they're on the outside of our parallel lines. Okay, so I would have different sides of my transversal, but now they're on the outside of those parallel lines. Okay, and we know that these angles also equal each other. Okay, now let's talk about consecutive. Okay, in your assignment, it might say same side. Okay, so I just kind of gave you the hint. So consecutive means same side as our transversal. Interior is going to meet on the inside of our parallel lines. Okay, so if they're both on the left and both on the inside of the parallel lines. Okay, these angles equal 180 degrees. Beautiful. Okay, well, if we have a consecutive interior, that means we also must have a consecutive exterior. Okay, so I got my 2 lines, my transversal. Okay, consecutive, same side as my transversal, so this time we'll put them on the right. Exterior on the outside, so X and Y. Okay, and these angles also equal 180 degrees. Beautiful. A couple more to talk about. So the next one is corresponding. Okay, so corresponding is a word that basically means the same. Okay, so corresponding is where you're going to think of these angles as 2 little 4-square chords. Okay, so we have a 4-square chord right here and a 4-square chord right there. Okay, corresponding means that they're in the same spot on that 4-square chord. Okay, so that means if I'm in the top left right there, I'm also in the top left right there. Okay, these angles equal each other. Beautiful. Okay, last one we're going to talk about, vertical. Okay, vertical angles are a little different. Okay, vertical angles are wherever you see the angles create these X's. Okay, so right here and right there and there. Okay, so vertical angles are angles that are always across from each other on those X's. Okay, so if my X is right there, that means it would be across on that X right there. Okay, and these angles also equal each other. All right, so now that we've talked about all of our different relationships, let's go ahead and flip it back over. And let's identify, so on 1 through 4, we're asked to identify what these relationships are. Okay, so let's look at number 1. Okay, so let's ask ourselves, I see that they're on the same side, they're both on the right side. So that tells me consecutive. And they're both on the inside of my parallel lines, so that tells me interior. Okay. So on number 2, first thing I notice is that they're both on the outside of my parallel lines. Okay, so that automatically tells me something exterior, either consecutive or alternate. Okay, well now I see that the X is on the left side of my transversal and the Y is on the right. So they're on different sides. Different means alternate. Okay. And now let's look at number 3. Okay, so we have, first I see that one is on the outside of my parallel lines, but then one is on the inside. So that means we can't use interior or exterior, both consecutive and alternate. Okay, so this means that maybe I should try and break this up into a little 4-square court. Okay, now I see that both of those angles are in the bottom left corner. Okay, so this tells me they are corresponding. Beautiful. Okay, now let's look at number 4. The first thing I notice is that both of these angles are on the inside of my parallel lines, between these parallel lines. Okay, so that automatically tells me interior. Okay, well, are they on the same side of my transversal or different sides of my transversal? One is on the left, one is on the right, so that tells me alternate interior. Beautiful. So that was simply classifying angles based on their relationship. Okay, identifying what relationship they have. Okay, well now on numbers 5 through 8, it's asking us to find the missing angles. But in order to find the missing angles, we have to identify the relationship first. Okay, in fact, let's write that on our paper. Must identify relationship first. Beautiful. Okay, because that's going to tell us what they're equal to, which will then help us find the missing angle. Okay, so number 5, what is the angle relationship? Okay, well again, I see that they're both on the inside of my parallel lines. So that automatically tells me interior, something interior. Okay, well are they on different sides of my transversal or the same side? Okay, I see that 46 is on the right side and our question mark or X, I'm just going to change that to an X, is on our left side. So since they're on different sides, we know it's alternate interior. Okay, well what are alternate interior angles equal to? Okay, flip over your paper if you need to remind yourself. They're equal to each other. Okay, so that's really easy. So we know that if that guy is 46, then we know that X also equals 46 degrees. And there we go. Okay, let's look at number 6. What is the relationship here? So this time I see that they're both on the outside of my parallel lines. Okay, so that automatically tells me exterior, something exterior. It's either alternate or consecutive. Okay, so are they on different sides of my transversal or the same side as my transversal? They're on different. 81's on the left, our question mark or X is on the right. Okay, so different, again, that tells us alternate. Okay, well, what are alternate exterior angles equal to? Let's flip it over. They equal each other. Super easy. Okay, so we know if that guy is 81, we know that our X is also 81 degrees. Beautiful. Okay, let's look at number 7. Ooh, these guys are weird. We haven't talked about this relationship yet. Okay, well, they're on different sides and they're both inside, but you see how they're right next to each other? Okay, do you guys remember the word that means next to, the math word that means next to? Okay, we call these adjacent. Okay, and let's identify adjacent. Adjacent means next to, and these angles equal 180, and I'll show you why. Okay, so whenever you see angles that are right next to each other, one's right here, one's literally right next to it, we'll call this guy X. Okay, they are adjacent. These guys are equal to 180 degrees because you see how they form this straight line? Okay, we know that a straight line is 180 degrees. Okay, so now in order to find X, I can add these both up to 180 and solve. So I have 132 plus X equals 180. And now I'm going to go ahead and solve this equation. Okay, so I'm trying to get X by myself. So how do I get rid of positive 32? Or 132? I'm going to subtract 132. Okay, so my X is all by itself. What is 180 minus 132? 180 minus 132. And we get 48. So we know that our X degree is 48 degrees. And there we go. Okay, let's look at number 8. Okay, let's identify the relationship. Okay, so first thing I notice is that they're both on the inside of my parallel line, so that tells me interior. Okay, are they on the same side or different side of my transversal? They're on the same, so that tells me consecutive interior. Okay, well, what are consecutive interior angles equal to? Let's flip it over. Consecutive interior, they again equal 180 degrees. Okay, so that means that 73 plus this guy plus X is going to equal 180 degrees. Okay, so let's solve this guy just like we did over here. So I have 73 plus X equals 180 degrees. Okay, so now I'm going to try to get rid of positive 73. How do I do that? I'm going to subtract 73 from both sides. So I get X all by itself. What is 180 minus 73? 180 minus 73. We get 107 degrees. 107. And there we go. Okay, we talked about the angle relationships and identifying them, and then we use them to find missing angles. Those are your notes for today.